Hey man, I'd have to disagree with you on most of what you just said, and I think I could provide a reason for all of what I disagree with. Um, to start off with, I disagree with you regarding kids. 18, really, really. So you can't be responsible until you're 18. You can't be, handle yourself until you're 18. You don't know right from wrong until you're 18. What does that mean? The moment I turn 18, I'm automatically going to have some sort of divine revelation and I'm going to understand what right is and what wrong is in one day? I'm 16. Do I have no sense of right and wrong besides what my parents have taught me? Do I have no sense of responsibility simply because of my age? I'm not perfect, I'm human. But does my age really have as much to do with it as you think? Yes, it does. When you're 10, you're not going to understand everything you do when you're 14. And when you're 14, you're not going to understand everything you do when you're 18. Sometimes it goes up, goes down, sometimes it goes for the better, for the worse. But while there's growth supposedly in age when it comes to intellect and when it comes to the ability to take on responsibility, I don't think that it's as simple as soon as you're 18 you know right from wrong, or you cannot know right from wrong until you're 18. I'd have to say, long shot right here, but I have a better sense of right and wrong than some adults. Sometimes someone who's younger does have a better sense of right and wrong because they haven't let their views become so set in stone. They have a more modern view. Sometimes older people do have a better sense of right and wrong. It depends on the individual. Yeah, you're molded as a child, but how much? How much depends on genetics? I agree that a lot depends on genetics, and it also depends on experience. But depending on when you're a parent, the way you teach, first of all, you should teach your kid to have an open mind and give them the tools to decide right and wrong for themselves. Some things are right, some things are wrong. But certain issues, it's not as simple as saying this is right and this is wrong. What you need to do is give the kids an understanding of what is important, an understanding of what to balance out, an understanding of the few things that are set in stone, right and wrong, and usually those few things regard more of intention than action, acting upon the intention, rather than you do and don't do this. The better way to teach is to teach about intention. When people are young, you do have to set out rules. However, when we're only teaching you don't do this and you don't do this, we're failing to teach some of the most important thing, and that is to have intention that is positive. So I'd have to disagree with you on both age and when it comes to censorship for people that are young. How much can we hide? We can't hide. What it would be a parent's job is to explain what they're seeing, to give them the tools to understand what they're seeing, and not let it make them a worse person. You cannot blame the media. You cannot blame other people's actions for how your kid is. If you fail to teach them a positive foundation, and if you try to just hide them from things, it only makes things worse. What's important is not hiding things from kids, because that when kids get older, it gives them a reason to rebel. When they feel like things have been hidden from them, it gives them a reason to distrust. It gives them a reason to fight back. But when kids are dealt with in a sense of, I'm going to be real with you, I'm not going to try to hide this stuff from you, I'm going to explain this stuff to you. I'm going to give you the tools you need in life to deal with this stuff. Should we really be censoring things just because we don't want our kids to see it? Or should we take responsibility and teach them, show them what's right and wrong, and if they end up agreeing with something that you don't, it should be because you have given them the tools to make decisions for themselves, not blind rebellion. Kids are going to disagree with their parents, but at least give them the tools to understand right and wrong. Sometimes when you don't. And that's the problem. Sometimes you don't. And they do. But you are enforcing your opinion upon them. Isn't that a problem? I think so. On to the N-word. Nigger. I see what you're saying. I see where you're coming from. I don't agree with you. I don't agree that it should be used a whole lot. I don't know what his intention is, this other guy, variablast. I don't know what his intention was in using it. But using it in the way that I've used it in the past isn't a bad thing. And allow me to explain. It's sort of like, and I've used the Voldemort reference, but when we become so afraid of a word that we cannot take as important what someone says because of their usage of a word we don't like, it creates a problem. I've had this with my parents as a problem. I've seen this. For some people, it is nigger. Some people, it's cracker, coon. Some people, it's spick. Some people, it's fuck. Some people, it's shit. Some people, it's anything. Some people, it's god damn it. The thing is, did you cringe? People watching, did you cringe at any of the words I said? Did you take offense to me saying them? Yet there was no context in which you could take offense or should take offense. If you take offense to something without even understand what is trying to be said, what is really meant by it, if you automatically take offense when hearing a word, I think it's you that needs to check yourself. And taking away someone's right isn't right. Even on YouTube. They have the right to say it. The one thing they don't have the right to do is going to channels of multiple African Americans, harassing them, calling them nigger, and crap like that. That is where it needs to be stopped. That's where we draw the line. But what I'm doing, if you consider me a racist, if you consider me hateful, if you think that I'm supporting the actions of the slave owners, of the racists, the KKK, because of the way that I'm explaining this, then you need to check yourself. I think there are very few circumstances in which we should use the word nigger. This is one of them, in my opinion. But if we cringe so much, are so offended by a word, by sounds put together, that we cannot listen, truly listen to what is trying to be said, that we cannot analyze what this person means, then who really needs to check whose self? It's Spike here. Peace out. Down with censorship.